After failing to save half the universe, going through an existential crisis, and eventually getting a hold of himself, the God of Thunder is set to return to the big screen this year in his 4th standalone. Thor 4 is going to be yet another exciting release for Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Plans for Love and Thunder were announced way back in 2019 at the Comic-Con in San Diego. With the film just months away, we've rounded up everything you need to know about Thor and his latest adventure. First up, Thor's journey in the MCU. The blonde Odinson has been around in the MCU since the beginning. After being banished to Earth by his father in the 2011 Thor, the Prince of Asgard found himself fighting along the Avengers when his mischievous little brother came to Earth with plans of world domination. Since then, he became a formidable part of the original team. Before the release of Endgame, fans shared the broad assumption that it was the end of the line for 3 of Earth's mightiest defenders: Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. All 3 of the heroes had lived through their solo trilogies, and the massive blockbuster felt like the perfect last hurrah for the trio. But as you know, things played out a little differently in the movie. While Endgame did in fact mark the end of Stark's and Rogers' journey in the MCU, it wasn't Thor who joined them. Instead, it was everyone's favorite super assassin, Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanoff. Chris Hemsworth's run as the God of Thunder is far from over. Let's see what Marvel has in store for Thor now that the threat of Thanos and Infinity Stones are seemingly behind them. So, what will Love and Thunder be about? Marvel is keeping this one under tight wraps, so much so that we haven't even seen the trailer for the upcoming film yet. Apart from the fact that Thor 4 will pick up right after the events of Avengers Endgame, there really isn't much to go on for now. One snap and a few sacrifices later, we saw Thor leave what's become his second home over the course of a few years. If you remember the end of the 2019 Avengers, you'll know that Chris Hemsworth ends up joining another Chris on his MCU journey as he departs Earth with the Guardians of the Galaxy. With no Asgard to rule and scattered Avengers, Love and Thunder will likely focus on Thor as he figures out who he is beyond his birthright and beyond being one of Earth's defenders. We can't wait to see how his hunt for a new purpose pans out, but arguably one of the most anticipated parts of the upcoming installment will be the return of Natalie Portman's Jane Foster. We never really got full closure on their star-crossed love story. Thor has been pretty occupied fighting Thanos and Hela level threats, but looks like Love and Thunder will be changing that. According to reports, the 4th part is going to be a full-blown love story. However, Jane won't just be the smart, beautiful voice of reason in the background this time around. Instead, her character will be getting an exciting superhero upgrade. Apparently, the events of Thor: The Dark World will play an important role in that. For those of you who don't remember, we don't blame you. Frankly, with so much happening in the MCU, it sometimes gets hard to keep track of all the action. Here's a little refresher. Jane was encompassed by the dark energy in the second film of the franchise, which just might contribute to her new superhuman abilities. MCU fans are speculating that the film is going to draw details from Jason Aaron's comics, where Jane lifts Mjolnir and takes on the mantle of Mighty Thor. What do we know about Thor 4 so far? While it sure would be exciting to see someone else worthy of Thor's hammer, after Captain America of course, it's all mere speculation. Nothing has been officially confirmed by Marvel's team as of yet, but it's not all loom and gloom. There are a couple of things that we actually do know about Love and Thunder. Next, Taika Waititi is back for another round of thunder. While the last part of Thor's solo story, Ragnarok, was decidedly pretty heartbreaking, especially for the Asgardians, the film did have quite a few pockets of ingenuine hilarity. You can thank director Taika Waititi for that. It's likely that Love and Thunder will pack the same hilarious, action-packed punch because Waititi is back in the director's chair with this one. He's been one of Marvel Studios' favorite directors, bringing Thor's colorful world to life in a lighthearted but compelling way. Up next, the return of the Valkyrie. Tessa Thompson's headstrong character, the Valkyrie, was first introduced in Ragnarok and instantly became a fan favorite. Well, the sword-wielding, winged horse-riding character will be back in Love and Thunder. While we're certainly hoping that this part will add a certain depth to her character aside from fighting evil, Thompson has revealed very little about her role in the upcoming film, but we know Thor left Asgard, or whatever's left of Asgard, in her hands after the events of Endgame, so it's likely we'll get to see her as a leader as she rebuilds the once powerful city. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy crossover. When Thor boarded the ship of the galactic heroes, he officially kicked off a crossover event between the two franchises of the the MCU. Naturally, it seems that the Guardians of the Galaxy will play a big role in Love and Thunder. Vin Diesel, whose single most important contribution to the cinematic universe has been I Am Groot, shared how excited he was for Thor 4, which only confirms the crossover hunch. But you never know with Marvel. According to James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will take place after the events of Love and Thunder, so Diesel's comment might not exactly be linked to the upcoming film at all, or it's likely that they, in fact, are setting up a crossover plot, but only at the end of the film in their infamous post-credit scenes. Fans know just how much the studio loves leaving those little Easter eggs behind. Guess we'll have to wait to find out for sure. Next, Christian Bale is coming to the MCU. Speaking of crossovers, here's one that's definitely happening. DC's famous Dark Knight is debuting in the MCU. Reports have confirmed that Christian Bale will be donning the role of Gorr the God Butcher, one of Thor's nemesis in Love and Thunder. However, it's likely you'll barely recognize Bale with all the prosthetics and makeup he'll be wearing. According to the comics, Gorr is an alien who comes from a planet with no name. Grief-stricken from losing his lover and children, he's convinced that there are no gods, which leads him to being banished by his own people. As he wanders through space, he comes across two fighting gods, one of whom wears a gold armor and wields a peculiar weapon, a symbiote, very much like the one we've seen in Venom. This creature attaches itself to Gorr and vows to kill all gods. Safe to say things aren't looking so bright for our God of Thunder, and Thanos' blue daughter will return. Throughout the film series, we saw Nebula as Thanos' evil daughter, hell-bent on getting back at Gamora for all the torturous competition Thanos put them through. Eventually, of course, we did see her turn a new leaf, and by the end of Infinity War, she became Stark's companion in the lonesome depths of space. Without Thanos provoking her, she's staying with the good guys for good. And if the Guardians of the Galaxy do make an appearance in Thor 4, which we're pretty sure they will, Nebula will certainly be a part of the team. Karen Gillan reportedly confirmed that she'll be reprising her role in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. As for her role in Love and Thunder, it's all speculation and calculated theories right now. Now we have fun celebrity cameos. Marvel is known for tucking away sneaky Easter eggs and cheeky cameos in its films. You can bet Thor's latest adventures won't be any different. According to reports, Jason Bourne's Matt Damon will be reprising his role as actor Loki in Love and Thunder. Joining the parodied God of Mischief will be none other than Chris Hemsworth's big brother Luke Hemsworth. The older Hemsworth is going to be making an appearance as actor Thor in the parodied version of his life. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. But those aren't the only cameos to watch out for. Apparently, Marvel's upcoming film is going to be filled with some pretty famous faces, including Russell Crowe, Melissa McCarthy, and Sam Neill. When is Love and Thunder coming out? Thor Love and Thunder has been a long time coming. The fourth solo movie of the God of Thunder was initially slated to release in November 2021, but thanks to COVID, it got pushed over to the next year. Now, finally, it's set to hit the big screen on July 8th, 2022. And that's a wrap for today's video, folks. What are your expectations from Love and Thunder? Do you think Thor 4 will bid adieu to the former King of Asgard? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.